This is why I made this video. Did you just hit? She said she visualizes. And then she acts. And she plans. And then she believes in success. Like this whole video, this is why I made this video, is because she doesn't believe, you just heard her say it, right? She doesn't believe that you can manifest whatever you want. She doesn't believe it. She even visualizes and plans when she doesn't know how this is even possible. That's what she did with her house, right? This is 101. She's actually in a high degree manifestation master to me, in my mind. And she doesn't believe in manifestation. Guys, welcome back. I have a great video for you today. It's amazing. Like this video, it's like 101, 201, and 301 in manifestation. She does such a great job of explaining how to manifest money or anything you want. And I'll pepper in my comments and show you some things along the way. But she's a very special one because she doesn't even believe in manifestation. And she does the manifestation work, and that's the core of this message. For when I watched this video, that was the core of the message to me, and that's the core of the message that I want to bring to you. It doesn't matter if you believe in manifestation. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or you don't believe in it. Especially if you believe in it. If you don't do the work, you're not going to get the results. So let's get into it.
So I am so excited to welcome Sydney Bean to the program. She is a TikToker and also a lottery winner. Sydney, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to join today. What did you win and how did this happen?
So in December of 2021, I went to visit my family in eastern Idaho. And every year on Christmas, we play a game. We kind of refer to it as the bucket game. It's an unofficial game that we put together where we take those 5-gallon paint buckets from the hardware store, and then we take turns, my 3 siblings and my 2 moms and I, throwing a beanbag into the bucket. And when you get it into the bucket, then you receive a scratch ticket. So my mom had bought like $150 worth of scratch tickets, just the $1 and $5 ones this year. And when it was my turn, we had done a few rounds and I kept missing, and my stack of cards was pretty small. So I asked my mom when I missed again if I could have a second try. And she said, okay, you can have another try. So I throw in the beanbag and I make it in the bucket that time. And then the ticket that I pick up, it was a $5 scratcher. It was a Sleigh Bells, like holiday-themed scratch ticket, and that ended up winning me the grand prize on that ticket, which was $50,000.
Now, I want you to remember, like what I've said in past videos. When you want to create something, the best way to do it is to make it a game, to make it lighthearted and fun, like Helen Hasdell. And she won that $50,000 not from trying to like find the scratcher and going all over the place and I need this $50,000. It was just a game. It was just a game that her family played all the time, and it just happened. Lighthearted. You
mentioned that you were actually browsing houses before you won. Were you imagining places or what was happening with that?
Yeah, my life before I won the lottery, I was living with a roommate. It wasn't my first time living with a roommate, but it had never been this bad before. So to share an apartment, I was paying $1,100 on average a month for my half of the rent and utilities. But working at a public elementary school as a paraprofessional or teacher's assistant, I was making about $9 an hour. So I had to borrow money from my student loans to live. I had to take out more loans just to cover my cost of living despite being a full-time worker. And then the real concern beyond the financial aspect of this was that my roommate often wouldn't pay her rent on time, which would mean that I would have to come up with an extra $1,000 or so a month to make sure that we didn't get late fees and didn't get evicted. Our downstairs neighbor was trying to have us evicted because of noise. My roommate stopped taking care of her dog. So when I was out of the house and she was out of the house, her dog was at home for hours and hours, like upwards of 10 hours at a time. And then she would have parties as well. So in an apartment, we were making our downstairs neighbor miserable. It was making me miserable. I felt terrible and like guilt-ridden for this dog, but I could only do so much. And so, yeah, I just hated living there after a while. That's why I began to dream about what I could do in the future. And I say dream because I knew it wasn't an option. But I also am fully comfortable, and I always have been comfortable with planning on making my life better, planning on doing the things that I want, even if they don't feel reasonable at the time. So that's what I was doing when I was looking at Zillow, when I was researching mortgages, when I was asking questions to people with homes. I was dreaming, but really I just was planning without the feasibility.
That right there. Later on in the video, you'll see I don't remember exactly where it was because I watched this video a long time ago, but I thought it was interesting. Later on, she says she doesn't believe in manifestation, but she did exactly what you're supposed to do. Exactly. She said she knew it was impossible, right? But she went ahead and did it anyway. She planned. What she was saying is, I have no clue how I can afford a house. I can barely afford where I'm living now, and this is a rental. And I'm sharing it with somebody. But she went ahead and she started looking through Zillow. She started looking at the prices. She started looking at the finances. She started acting as if she had the money, as if she had the support to get this. And then the money came. So that is one of the biggest rules. Like, if you are not acting as if you are not acting in the direction of whatever you desire, then that means that you don't believe that you are supported. You don't believe that it's yours. You don't believe that it's coming. You know, I had a friend that I remember, he loves cars, and he said, it was his birthday coming up, and I was like, hey, why don't you go drive that new, I think it was a Challenger or something. Why don't you go to the to the car dealership and drive that new Challenger for your birthday, get a feel for it. And he was like, bro, I would never do that. He was like, I would never tease myself like that. And that is the difference between the person that gets what they want and the person that doesn't. Because we all have desires, we all have dreams. But if you feel like it's so impossible that you won't even try, you won't even step out, you won't even imagine it, you're probably not going to get it. Because you manifesting something has absolutely nothing to do with your current circumstances. You're believing in this, and you're not believing in currency, you're believing in consciousness. You're believing that I can create anything with this. And she dreamed about it, she acted on it, she looked for the house, she looked into finances, and so that's like number one key.
Before you won the lottery, you were
Yes.
planning all of this.
For months I was planning it, and that's really the only way. I guess it's a coping mechanism that works well for me. If I'm in a situation that I don't like,
Planning it for months.
I make my next plan. I dream about what my life is going to be like, how I can make life more enjoyable, and in this case, my life was beautiful as it always has been, but the living situation was just so stressful that I couldn't stand it any longer. So the only way to cope with that was to dream and plan for this next step, not knowing when I could take that step, but knowing that it would need to happen eventually to make my life better.
Listen, this is so incredible. She calls it coping. This is how she copes with when something is not going the way she wants it. The way she copes with it is by figuring out what she does want and starts to plan for that. That is like 101 in manifestation. It's so incredible because the first thing you have to do when you want to manifest something is you have to figure out what it is you do want. Most people know what they don't want. They're like, oh, I'm so tired of this living situation. I'm so tired of this job. I hate my boss. I hate my body. I hate whatever. When you ask them what they do want, you say, what do you want? And they're like, I don't want this job anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want, no. What do you want? But they're so used to complaining, being in that cycle of complaining about what they don't want, what they don't like. They don't even have a real clear vision of what you do want. So manifestation is one of the keys is whatever you focus on, you're going to get more of. So you have to shift your focus to what you do want. And so that's how she copes with difficult situations. Whenever she's in a situation that she doesn't like, she starts to figure out what does she like, what does she want, and she starts planning around that. I have a story about somebody I coached in that same situation who had like a nightmare roommate. I made a video about it. I'll put a link of it below, and maybe I'll talk about it later on. But that was the first thing I had to teach her is stop focusing on what she didn't want, which was that nightmare roommate, which was like he was violent, all type of stuff, to focusing on what she did want. And she was able to manifest that situation and get out of that situation so fast. It was so incredible. It was one of the coolest manifestations I ever helped somebody with.
Make my life better.
So what did that feel like when you could actually make this happen, when it did become a reality and it could help you buy or invest on real estate, which I believe is what you did. But what did that feel like when all of a sudden this dream could become a reality?
It has been exactly what I envisioned. And that's not to say that it's not difficult, but I recognize I've done enough life changes and moves to know that things are hard when you make change. But everything is truly so much better because my dog has a yard. Like, that's a big thing. I don't have to just like let him walk around outside at the apartment occasionally. Like, he can go lay out in the yard. He's had separation anxiety really severely for the longest time, and I could never get a second dog living in an apartment. But now I did. And so he's got a brother, and we live this really joyous life where we get to go to parks all the time and do hiking in a really dog-friendly city. And my neighbors here aren't trying to get me evicted. They don't ever have noise complaints, first of all, because I'm not noisy. But also, like, they'll bring me organic vegetables from their garden. They'll ask how I'm doing. We take our dogs on walks together. They invite me to the farmer's market. It's just this beautiful, affordable town, Pocatello, that I live in. And I gotta say, every aspect of what I'm doing feels nicer, and I know I'm doing it in a stable sense. My mortgage is $587 a month. I could not have ever imagined that.
That's it.
Listen to her words. She got everything she envisioned. Everything she envisioned.
That's incredible. It wasn't too long.
And also, you can tell that everything she was saying was the opposite of what she was experiencing. So she really did focus on what she did want instead of what she didn't want. So she's talked about that her neighbors are amazing. They're not trying to, get rid of her, or they're not mad at her. Her dog has space to roam. Like, just she focused on what she did want, and that's what she got.
I'm trying to say, I'm not saying that everyone can win the lottery, because unfortunately we can't all win. But we can all dream about where we want to go next in life. We can all plan and work hard and hope. It sucks.
That's right. Everybody can't win the lottery. I don't like when people just help people, like when somebody wants money, to say, okay, we're just going to focus on winning the lottery. Just if the lottery you believe is the only way you can create money, now you're making lottery your God. Just like if you think your job is the only way you can make money, then the job is your God. What you need to, I'm not going to say what you need to do, but what I believe and what I do is I make consciousness, I make God, the key. So I see the money that I do want. I visualize it, my vision board. I imagine it, I script it, and I allow the universe, I allow God to bring me the money in any way that it believes that is the best for me and my family. I have had so many dreams with winning the lottery, and I've had many close calls. I feel like the lottery's always called me, to the point that it's been going on for so much years. I'm like, I don't even want anything to do with the lottery, because let me win it, or just let me stop, dreaming about it. But I do believe that one day I will win the lottery, but my goal is not to win the lottery. My goal is to have financial abundance and allow that to come however it comes, and the lottery is just one of many ways that it can come. So instead of focusing on winning the lottery, focusing on, like she said, her coping skills, focus on what you do want, how you do want to feel, imagine that, and allow it to come, allow the how to be controlled by the universe.
I think that if I work hard and I have objectives, that that eventually I will reach them. And I try not to worry about when or how, and that's what makes life so much fun, is I always expect success for myself, but I don't know what that success is going to look like. So that's what I continue to live right now. And it's been especially lovely to experience these two really big landmarks in my life just a year and a half apart.
And
Not only, not only is that amazing what she just said, but that's a wonderful affirmation. I always expect success. I always expect success. I don't know why that's hard to say, but I always expect success, and she doesn't know when or how. That is detachment. She is detached. When I say, in the other video with Dr. Joe and other videos, when I say when I learned the lesson, like making manifestation into a game, making it fun and lighthearted is how you manifest even faster and then even easier. Is because when you're playing a game, it is detached. You are detached, and you're trusting. You're just having fun. It's lighthearted. And when you're attached, you just so much fear and so much effort, and that's the stuff that pushes away the manifestation, right? Because when you have something, the way you manifest is you have the feelings of having it before you get it, right? And so when you have it, you don't feel like you have to fight for it. You don't have to feel fear that you don't have it. You have it, so you feel gratitude. You feel good, And so she's living in a way, that's just her mantra for life. She's like, I expect success. She works hard towards whatever she wants while she's expecting success, even when she doesn't know how she can have this thing, even when it feels impossible. She still plans for it, and then she lets go of the how and the when. She allows it to come to her anytime, any way. Perfect manifestation technique. And she doesn't even believe in manifestation.
you made a video about your thoughts on luck and how I'll let you explain.
Oh, yeah.
But you made a video on your thoughts on luck and how I believe that you were alluding to some of your spiritual thoughts, and I know some people watching this are into this topic, but what are your thoughts on being lucky when it comes to spirituality and that sort of thing, or energy?
I think that having a hunger for luck is a very dangerous thing. And I am someone who has bipolar 1. And so there are times when I may experience certain delusions. Those with bipolar 1 and those who experience mania are very likely to become gambling addicts, to overspend, to do dangerous things. And so I recognize from my experience that to have a hunger for luck and a want for something exciting can be really dangerous physically, emotionally, mentally. What I have always thought of luck as is not really something that I'm trying to get, I'm trying to attain. Like I said, I know it will come if I do things right. I believe in a sort of luckometer, is what I envision in my head, where I've always thought if I do enough good things, something really good will happen to me. The first time I remember recognizing this was I think I was in 8th grade when I won the Future City competition. Right before the winners were announced, I thought in my head, I've done a lot of good things. I feel like I've been a genuine and good person, and this is a time when I feel like that could pay off. And it did, and I won. And I just thought that was such a helpful way to process putting in hard work. And anytime I've thought, well, I really earned this, my luckometer is full, it's time for something good to happen to me, and it doesn't, then I just refocus on where are places in my life where I could be doing more for others? Am I studying hard in school? Am I taking care of my community? And I just go back to that, and I wait for another one of these moments where my luck meter is really full. It helps me navigate life.
She has a luck-o-meter in her mind. This is incredible. Things don't happen by mistake, y'all. It doesn't happen by mistake. People like to give people oh, you did it, this person's just lucky or whatever. When somebody's having success over and over, there's a way that they're thinking. There's a way that they're being. There's somebody that's been fit for 30 years, for 50 years. Somebody that always seems to be creating money. Somebody that always has great relationships. It's not luck. It's attraction. There's a way of being that they are manifesting this life over and over again. And if you listen to them, Listen to the people that are having success in the area that you want. One of the first things I have to teach people when they want peace, because, I used to have really bad anxieties, and I learned how to have peace in my life and peace in my body, peace in my mind. And one of the first things I have to teach them, which I had to teach myself, is how does a peaceful person think? I didn't even know how a peaceful person think because I grew up in a circumstance that was very chaotic and very anxious, And so you have to listen to how she thinks. She thinks, she believes in luck. She believes that if she does enough good things, right? One of the biggest things in manifestation is you get what you give, right? And so to keep giving, and then you always receive more, right? It even says that in the Bible. And so she believes if she works hard, if she constantly gives, it just fills up this luck-o-meter, and then eventually she doesn't know how and when. Again, she's detached. Like, this thing is gonna pay her out in a great way. And when sometimes she's like, when she said that contest, she was like, maybe it's gonna pay off now. And then she actually won. She didn't say, this is my time, I'm going to win this. Because if she did, that's attachment again. You're putting fear in there. Because as soon as you say this must happen, then all of a sudden you can start having the doubts, what if it doesn't happen? So she was like, maybe this is one of the times. And then it just happened to be one of the times. She was detached, she was lighthearted, and she won. And she said, and even when it doesn't happen, she just, instead of being like, this doesn't work, going into a low vibe, getting frustrated and attached, she's still detached when it doesn't work. And she's like, oh, well, how can I serve more? How can I be more grateful? How can I give more? How can I fill up this luck-o-meter even more so that it's bursting at the seams, so then I know things are going to come to me. That is like a wonderful mantra and a wonderful way of being, to create a lot of good in your life.
Would you say that you visualize and focus your energy on positive outcomes in general?
My philosophy, or I don't know if it's so much of philosophy as it is a strategy, is I like to envision what I want in life, and I build a plan to get there, and then I do it. And I think that many people get stuck on various steps here. Some people just visualize, some people don't actually do it even when they've planned it. But I do all three of those steps, and I do visualize them. And I dislike when this is misconstrued as law of attraction, because I don't think you can just manifest anything into your life. I think that can be really ignorant of privilege personally, and it's just not the way that I view things. But
This is why I made this video. Did you just hit? She said she visualizes, and then she acts, and she plans, and then she believes in success. Like, this whole video, this is why I made this video, is because she doesn't believe, you just heard her say, right? She doesn't believe that you can manifest whatever you want. She doesn't believe it. She even visualizes and plans when she doesn't know how this is even possible. That's what she did with her house, right? This is 101. She's actually in a high degree manifestation master to me, in my mind. And she doesn't believe in manifestation. And I think why she says that, I may be wrong. I think she doesn't understand what manifestation is. A lot of people have this thing that manifestation is just this thing where you just sit down and you just visualize and then you go to sleep, or you visualize and you never do anything. And that's not true. You visualize, you see it, and then you follow your intuition. So a lot of times you don't know what to do. That's why you're visualizing, because it's so big you can't imagine how this is going to happen. But as you visualize, as you put your attention on the thing that you want, your intuition starts to work, right? Your intuition starts to work, and your intuition is always working on whatever your focus is on. So if you visualizing your dream home and having your dream home, your intuition is going to start giving you steps, knowings on what to do towards your dream home. If you visualize stealing cars, or you're always stealing cars with your friends, you're doing something bad, then all of a sudden your intuition is going to help you be like, what help you to steal cars even better? Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Intuition doesn't care. It's going to always work on what you're focused on. So you do not have to believe. You don't have to believe in this. Just like you don't have to believe in gravity. I don't care how much you don't believe in gravity. If you step off the top of a building, you're going to fall, right? And so, but even more so, more important than that is the people that believe in manifestation. This is who I'm talking to. The people that believe in manifestation and they don't do the work. It doesn't matter how much you believe in manifestation if you don't do the work, if you don't do the things she's doing, right? Just like the opposite is true. You don't have to believe in you can believe manifestation is not real, and then you do the manifestation work, and then the manifestations happen, right? It doesn't matter how long I've been doing this. I've been like thoroughly doing this for 14, 15, going on 15 years, putting myself in like the trenches of figuring out manifestation and doing things that are wild, that people are like, you're crazy. I can't believe you actually did that. And I can't believe you actually, trusted that you can do this and put yourself in these situations, right? And even me, 15 years of doing this, having lots of success and helping other people to have crazy manifestations. If I don't do the work today, I am not going to manifest what I want tomorrow. It just doesn't work. It doesn't matter how long I'm doing, how much I believe, how many people I helped. You have to do the work. Neville Goddard says, be doers of the work. You do it. And when you don't manifest what you want, be honest with yourself. Look at yourself. Have I been doing the work? Have I been living in the end? Have I been feeling gratitude? Have I been taking intuitive and inspired actions? Be honest with yourself, because the times that I have failed and I'm honest with myself, it always comes down to I haven't been doing the work, or I got frustrated and I gave up.
But I do believe that a lot of good can happen, and a lot of good tends to happen when you think of what you want, you plan for it, and you attain it. And visualizing that for me helps a lot. I'm a visual person. I studied art for a long time, so I just kind of think in pictures. And I gotta say, it's been working so far.
Yes, absolutely. You have achieved quite a bit of success in a short period of time. Yeah. And is there anything else that you wanted to say about this?
Maybe live life like you are going to win the lottery, just in case. Like, plan on it. Plan on winning some money, because it's always good to have an idea of what you would do with $50,000. It can really help you out if the time comes around. And it's a fun game anyways.
She said it. It's a fun game anyways. I forgot about that part. She said it. Textbook manifestation master. I love this girl. She doesn't believe in manifestation, but she said it. Visualize it anyway. Think about it anyway. Live as if you won the lottery. My God, this is manifestation. And think of it as a fun game. Don't get too overwhelmed with it. Don't get too stressed about it. This is the one reason why I think manifesting money is so hard for most of us, including me. That's why I spend so much time getting better at it this year. I've committed myself, because when you have a family and you have rent or the mortgage, and you got bills, and you got private school, and you got car payments, and you got all this stuff, you feel like, and I've read this in the Tony Robbins book now I've been learning about money, learning to become better manifester of money. And in that he said, the first chapter of the book, I put the book down matter of fact, where's the book? The book is right here. I was gifted this book by a friend. And this thick ass book. I did not read this. Because, you know why? Because after the first chapter, I got the message that I know what the universe is trying to send me. He said in this book that rich people think of money as a game, poor people think of money as life and death, or working class people think of money as life and death. When you think of something as life and death, when you have that strong detachment, it is impossible, nearly impossible to create what you want. You have to think of things like a fun game. And that's why I think most of the world has a problem manifesting money, because you need it for survival, and it's hard to detach and just think of it as a fun game unless you have more than enough already. But yeah, this girl is amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Absolutely. And you can't win if you don't play. As cliche, it's true. But
I've never
yes.
bought a ticket. I still haven't.
You've never purchased a lottery ticket?
I have never played the lottery, and I'm the only person I know who won the lottery. Well, now I know you, but
She's never bought a ticket. She'd see when she was manifesting her home, which she wasn't manifesting, she was just doing her coping mechanism to focus on what she did want. She focused on the house. She didn't focus on how she was going to get the house. She just focused on, what home she wants, looking for the home, the finances, how much it's going to cost, how much she's going to have to put down, all these things, the kind of neighbors she wants, the yard she wants for her dog. She focused on what she does want, and she let the how come to her. She didn't even buy a ticket, never bought a ticket, and won the lottery. Have you ever heard that before? That is manifestation.
yeah, I've never played. I had like a thought about it the other day. I was like, I feel like I should put some money into that machine over there, but I didn't have any cash.
So why have you never played the lottery?
Well, my luck-o-meter, I'm not sure it's full yet. And also, same thing is like I recognize that it can make you hungry for it, and I have a mental illness that can like cause you to like want to risk things and to gamble. Like it's pretty well known that those with bipolar 1 can become gamblers. And I just figure like, why go into it for no reason? If I feel one day a specific urge to buy a lottery, then I'll assume it's my luck-o-meter telling me it's time. But until then, I'm just not even going to worry about it.
That's what she said. Her luck-o-meter saying it's time. That's her intuition. That's what she's calling her intuition. When her intuition says, when she has a knowing it's time to play, she will play. Other than that, she is detached. This girl is the girl of detachment, fun, lightness. This is her message without giving us a message. Detachment, fun, while still focusing on what you do want and planning and moving forward and giving, filling her luck-o-meter. So I hope you guys like that video. I'm gonna put links to Timothy Schultz's YouTube channel because he interviews a lot of winners all the time. If anything you got from this video is to know to be doers of the work, like Neville Goddard says. And I wish you guys the best. Please like and subscribe, and give me some ideas of what you would like to see in the next video. I think I already know what I'm gonna do next, but I love the comments, I love the feedback, and I really appreciate it.